What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Look, I have a personal bias for this game. It was my game of the year last year. I want this game to succeed, okay? We've all seen Square Enix. We all know what underperforming means to them, and it's pretty much every game that they release, right? Underperforms to their standards. But this is early, and this is just my opinion on these numbers, so take it with a grain of salt. But I think it's actually doing quite well, just, again, as a starting point on PC. So today is obviously the launch day, and what I want to do is I really want to try to compare it to 7 Remake. I think that's, again, these numbers can say one thing, but, the bigger picture, we might not honestly be able to get till later, right? Maybe they issue a statement of how well or not well it's doing or whatever, and this could have ramifications, right? If this does extremely well, I think they already are going to do part 3 on PlayStation and PC day and date, but for sure, I mean, if it does unbelievable, maybe it comes out on PC first for all we know. All right, you go to the Steam database, you go to the charts. Now, at the time I'm recording this, it actually reached its peak 5 minutes ago. I picked a good time for this. 27,133. It was actually, I think, down 24,000 a few hours ago. That was the last peak. Again, peaked 5 minutes ago. It's seemingly like this is later at night that I'm recording, that you guys are watching. It might hit a little bit more. It's also a Thursday, so you got Friday, Saturday. Normally games kind of peak around that time. I wouldn't be shocked if this game got 30, 35, maybe it got close to 40. I don't know if it would maybe get any more than that. And you could say, all right, well, 25, 30, 35,000. Now, number one, I think that's actually pretty darn good. But you might say, well, Alex, I don't know. That's not that amazing. Well, again, this is where the numbers, we can't say too much, but what we can do, right, is look at just, okay, let's look at the most recent comparison. So going to Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. So again, I'm actually picking a pretty good time to do this when I'm taking the screenshot, that is. For right now, players literally playing right now, 5,963. So it's peaking right now at 6,000. That's the 24-hour peak, and I don't actually think it's beaten this for like 4 or so days. Like, you have to go back over the weekend, and it only got 6,500, and it beat any time last week as well. So it's actually doing pretty well. I think people are going in playing 7 Remake and then going into 7 Rebirth. So it's actually a nice thing there. But okay, it's getting 6,000 people right now. Again, maybe this peaks at like 6,500, maybe 7,000. But look at that far right number, 13,803. All-time peak 2.5 years ago. Now, this came out back in June of 2022, so they waited over 2 years from Remake to this, okay? When this originally came out, took them 2 years. Now, this is Intergrade. This isn't this is actually, the remastered, or with the Yuffie DLC, whatever you want to call it. This isn't even the base, 7 Remake that came out back in 2020, right as the world was kind of falling apart. So, things definitely happened, that kind of slowed things down there. But honestly, guys, like right there, 13, almost 14, right? 13.8. It's at 27, so it's literally double, and that's right now. And I'm telling you, like, I don't know, I've seen enough Steam charts to kind of know. Thursday night, release day, yeah, it's going to have, close to its high, but a game like this, and also being a Thursday night, it'll hit more. I really think, 30, 35,000. So it might honestly, okay, I mean, if it gets to 39,000, it would triple the numbers of, 7 Remake, okay? Now, these numbers are a little harder to go by. I don't ever really trust any of them, but they are numbers. They do come from sites that claim to be good. So owner estimates, right? This is what 4 different sites that, again, claim they know how to track, how many people bought a game, and they're all close. So you can, I would say, kind of round it and assume. So they think that basically 7 Remake on Steam, on PC, sold around 1 million, right? You had 815,000, 1.08, 1.09, 1.31. I would personally take away the highest and the lowest, right? 815 is like 200,000 below the next one, and 1.31 is like 200,000 above the second highest, right? So honestly, it seems like 7 sold around 1 million units on PC, okay? And that's, you're trusting things, and I understand not trusting it, trust me. So I get that, but if you're gonna go based off that, okay, and honestly, it looks like Rebirth is going to at least double, if not more than double, the all-time peak. all-time peak, and even, the players playing it right now, it's going to crush it. Now, you could look at like reviews, 32,000 people, almost 33 actually, 33,000 people reviewed 7 Remake. 7 Rebirth is only at like 1, a little bit more than 1. So you got some, there's some catching up to do. Obviously, this game was this game's been out for 2.5 years, okay? Whereas Rebirth literally came out today. I guess the reason I'm saying all of this, well, number one, I want to kind of give it a pat on the back. It was my game of the year. I'm glad people are experiencing it in a new way and hopefully appreciating it, just liking it, because I do believe it's an incredible game. But also, from Square Enix, let's put ourselves in the corporate shoes, right? I mean, they're looking at this, I hope, and they're saying, oh my God, like people do care. Now, again, I mean, look, I joke about it, but Square Enix is tough. They're tough in terms of like their expectations and what they want. And, from what we've seen, right, 16, this, I mean, you could look at like Foam Stars and stuff like that, but, a lot of Square Enix projects don't live up to their standards, okay, in terms of what they want. But, if Rebirth can do 1, 2, 3 million on PC, like that has got to help. And that's something that, I've talked about quite a bit on all of my channels when it comes to Final Fantasy. What I struggle with sometimes, right, is people that say, all right, well, put it out on everything and then they'll be happy, right? But the thing is, if it's sold, say, 2 or 3 million, Rebirth, I'm saying, sold 2 or 3 million on PlayStation, okay? If you put it on Xbox and it sells 300,000, like, is that enough? Is that worth putting it on there? Is that going to suddenly make Square Enix say, oh my God, like now it's profitable, even though we just said it wasn't 5 minutes ago? So, and those are smaller numbers though, right? Now, say it sold 2-3 million on PlayStation, say it literally matches that on PC. Well, okay, now it's a different story, right? Now you've done, say, 2 and 2. Even if it's just 2 million in both places, now you've doubled. You've literally doubled. Now, I don't think you can get that from Xbox. I think it would lean more, sales would lean more PlayStation and PC, but that could also be wrong. You don't know. But I think it's got to make them happy. You know what I mean? Like, forget, and I'm not even trying to do like console war garbage. I hate that stuff anyway, but I'm not trying to focus it in that angle. But like, imagine Square Enix, they must be looking at this and saying, yes, like we finally figured it out. People do care, and the less time we have it come out from when it releases originally. See, this is again why I think part 3 is coming out day 1, because if you can get, say, 4 or 5 million in the first year instead of having to wait a full year and then double it, right? Maybe you can just kind of do it naturally right away. Obviously, that'd be much better, right? They would probably sleep better at night with that. So I think it's great. Again, like, look, from just a pure, I love the game, I want other people to love the game, I'm content. You know what I mean? But from their perspective, I imagine they're gonna like this. Now, there's no guarantee. It might peak at 35, 40,000. It might sell 500,000 on PC. Those numbers could have been wrong for Remake. All of that stuff could have happened. But I think kind of regardless, you are seeing there is increase in attention, like people that care. And I think you can do like a cause and effect. Okay, more people are playing Rebirth than they played Remake, at least just entry-level numbers. Okay, well, that's one. Like, so why did they do it? Well, honestly, it's probably because it came out closer to the release. They waited not even a year. They waited, like 11 months, I think it came out. Well, it came out like mid-February, I think, last year. So say they waited almost a year. But that time, they waited 2.5 years, right? So what happens if they do it the same day? PlayStation, PC, day 1. How much does it do on either of them, but also, specifically on PC? I think it probably does quite well. So I think it's great to see. I could be reading into it wrong or too much. You let me know, though, in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.